Hey everyone, this is Elias with RevMatch Media. Today we're going to discuss the Ram Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4. Wow, I got it right. So 4x4. Did I say 4x4? Not sure, but it is a 4x4. So this review is going to be a little bit different than my usual. Unfortunately, they had to actually take the truck from us 2 days before the typical day, which means the day before I actually film everything. So my wife did have to run down right before they had to pick it up and take tons of pictures. So that's what we're going to discuss today. Let's get started. This specific model happens to be dressed up with a lot of MOPAR parts. Now, when I'm talking about a lot, I mean a lot. It's everywhere you saw, this was definitely decked out in MOPAR parts. So when we start with the outside, you can't miss this truck. It's big, it's blue, it looks great. Now, you guys know our channel, it's usually more on the sports car side of things, but this truck was so much fun. First of all, it just looks huge because it is huge, and it really stood out, and it stood really high. So to start off with the wheels, it's got 18-inch wheels, and those things looked unbelievable. They were massive, and and really with the ride height adjusted to be a little bit higher was awesome in just the presence of it. When we take a look on the side, we had, as you can see, my wife's pictures. To get in it, with us being a little bit on the shorter side, we did have the little step rail at the bottom, which again, MOPAR parts in it to get into the truck. Now, also on the top, you guys can see that there's LED lights to really brighten up the road, or just off-road, or wherever you're taking this awesome Ram truck. They are attached to the Ram bar, which is another added awesome part from the MOPAR catalog. When I turned on those lights, they were bright. It's not something you want to drive with on the regular road, but if you are, like I said, just off-roading and you just need more light, those are definitely gonna shine the way for you. Now, going to the back, this really surprised me. It actually had a storage compartment in the back, so that was taking up a lot of the bed. And what was actually really incredible, so we got the truck when it was pouring. It was really raining, literally right before the truck was delivered to us. It was really wet. And what was great about it is that when I opened up those drawers that you see, they were bone dry. So being a photographer, if I have a truck full of people, or the crew, anywhere where we may be filming or taking pictures, if the inside is loaded with people, I can put the gear in the back in those rolling drawers, because they're really long, like rolling drawers, and I can put expensive gear that I wasn't scared of getting wet, even if it was a torrential downpour, because they were sealed. You can see the rubber seal that it had, and you could really just kind of put my cameras in there, close it up, or any materials, any building materials, or any tools for that matter. Because obviously, for me, using a pickup truck is a little bit different than your average pickup owner. A lot of people are going to be using it for home improvement or their construction, and for me, again, it would be more on carrying my camera equipment. And this really had plenty of space in those two long drawers. Again, water sealed, was completely bone dry, and I would definitely feel comfortable with having that. So that was actually a really cool added bonus that if I'm looking through the MOPAR catalog, I'd definitely be adding one of those. Now, coming inside, it got even better. there's so much space in this truck. Not only, again, is it really big, but on the outside, but on the inside, there was so much space. And sitting on those seats was extremely comfortable. They were really plush, but definitely was able to hold you. And I loved them. I loved the seats. They were actually cat skin covered seats, and they definitely had a great design to them. And when we sat in, my kiddo loved the truck. He was able to, we were able to put him in the back, plenty of space in the back, his toddler seat and 2 adults. Very easily able to sit down with plenty of space. So that was awesome, unbelievable. Now, when we go to turn it on, we could have either done it with the remote start that it did have, which is always a welcome, especially like if it's raining or if it's on a cold day, you want to get the car ready and up to temperature, as well as the interior cabin as well. We want to get it nice and warm if it's on a cold day, or nice and cool, especially when we have the kid that is gonna make sure we don't have them in extreme heat or extreme cold. So that was an added bonus. Now, when you fire that truck up, man, did it roar. The 5.7 liter V8 underneath was a blast to have, just really roar at you when you hammered it or just gave it some gas. So that was connected to the automatic transmission. Now, what's funny is that as you guys have seen on the internet, that knob for your gear selector, it's, a lot of people kind of look at it as a, maybe not the most favorite part, but it got to a point where it was easy for me to use. It's, it was actually one of my more favorite things, because a lot of time you're having to turn it and you're taking up more space on the center console. While with this, it's a nice small little knob. You're not going to confuse it with the radio knob. You're not going to accidentally turn it to the wrong one, but it was quick. So it let me really go from drive to park fairly quickly, and the opposite, from park to drive or reverse. So it was great. And then right underneath was a really great feature. Again, with this being the 4x4 model, you had different modes that you can switch the drivetrain. Because of the first day that we got it, it was really raining. We set it to 4x4 auto, and let me tell you, grip is unbelievable on this truck. Now, again, usually, I'm kind of, I guess, seeing this more on the sports car kind of review to it, but the grip that this had in the rain was awesome. It definitely didn't fishtail with the 4x4. All the power was definitely going down. I felt safe. I felt, my wife driving the truck, I felt safe that she was in the 4x4 mode while it was raining. So I wasn't scared of your typical truck, obviously with low weight in the back. It can be easy to, when you floor it, it can really get it fishtailing. Not with this truck. And setting it in 4x4 really got the power down, and it worked really well. Felt safe, but definitely can get that truck up and running. Now, sitting in the driver's seat, it really allowed for a lot of flexibility when it came to positioning. What I really liked is the pedals. So the pedals, you can actually move forward and backwards to accommodate someone that may not be the tallest. So it was great for my wife. Another great thing that was really more of a safety thing. You don't really, you think of it as a convenience or great feature, but I saw it as a safety thing, because a lot of times if you're a small person or a short person, when you're sitting in your car or your vehicle, if you're not the tallest, you have to move the seat really close. And it can be dangerous when you have the airbag really close to you. Now, what was great about it was because she was able to move the pedals forward, she now didn't have to be so close up to the wheel and had some distance. I really felt great knowing that she had that, because now she's further away at a safe distance to the steering wheel and the airbag should, God forbid, you know, the airbag have to deploy. It was such an easy truck to drive. Again, I'm not typically a truck driver. My cars are tiny, a hatchback, you know, Volkswagen Golf hatchback. So having this bigger vehicle, I thought I had to, you know, adapt a lot to it. There was one thing though, parking. It was a little difficult for me to park, as you can see. And there were moments where you had to really plan and you had to think differently than if you have a small car. I remember when I had the Fiat 500, I could park that little thing anywhere because it was just so tiny. But with the truck, you have to be a little bit more thoughtful. So if it's someone that, you know, if you're thinking about getting a truck and it's gonna be your first truck, something to really think about. But once you got it, you know, got it in a spot, you were good. The other thing, because it's such a tall, you know, such a tall truck, when I took it to work, the parking garage has two entrances. One was 7 feet, and I don't think I could clear that one. Thankfully, I went to the other one, which was about 8 feet and 2 inches. Let's just say I was a little close to exceeding the limit. And so again, that's something you have to kind of consider when you switch over from maybe a smaller vehicle like a hatchback or a small sedan to a larger truck. And it's something I'd be considering because it definitely makes for a great family vehicle. Now, I was able to get about 15 miles to the gallon. I did have to really baby it. There is no eco mode, unfortunately, which, you know, going back to like the Challenger or the Charger, if you push it in eco mode and it will shut down for the cylinder, so you're riding in four-cylinder mode on that. Would be something that would be great on the Ram. I don't know, maybe it's one of the different options that's available. It did have eco. It showed me an eco light when I was behaving, with the gas pedal. So it does show you that you're being economical, but it doesn't let you be economical in the sense of pushing a little button. The week that I had the truck, or the weekend that I had the truck, it was during the Circuit of the Americas, Le Mans, Lone Star Le Mans, that we haven't had in a few years. I decided, let me go ahead and take the truck. It's gonna be a great ride, you know, because I live about 15 to 20 miles from the racetrack. So it's gonna give me a nice review of maybe an everyday use, highway driving, some more city driving as well. And it was great. I mean, on the highway, you're just really cruising, and the truck was so smooth, you know, and having a big tire combo like that, I thought I was gonna be fighting the wheel, because obviously, you know, with a bigger set of wheels and tires, a lot of times can, you know, be a handful. But it was so smooth, and you know, everyone was looking at the truck. And speaking of looking at the truck, when I got to the racetrack, I was waiting for my press passes to be able to shoot the event. And I look over to my left and in my rear view mirror, and I see two guys checking out the truck. And they're also waiting. Now, mind you, this is a worldwide racing series. And when I open up the door, I'm like, hey, you guys like the truck? And immediately I recognized their accent. They were Italians. So it was two Italians, and they were talking about not seeing, you know, this is an America thing. This is a Texas thing. And immediately I was like, this is an American thing. This is a Texas thing, of having just this big, you know, truck, you know, that really, like I said, catches your eye and catches your attention. And they were interested in it. They're like, hey, what is this? And, you know, I said, jump in, and they got in the truck and they were amazed at how big it was and how, you know, comfortable it was, and they saw all the storage components in the back. They loved it. They thought it was amazing because again, in Italy, the truck having such a big vehicle is rarely seen when all your roads, or a lot of your roads, are really narrow. So they loved it, and I, you know, definitely they enjoyed it, and I put a smile on their face just as much as the truck put a smile on my face when I first saw it. One of my favorite things about this truck is the audio system. It is incredible. It's an Alpine system, so definitely you want to outfit that and get it. It's a little bit more, but I can tell you it's definitely worth the money to option that out. It is loud, it is very clear, and no need, I didn't have to touch anything regarding the equalization. It is very well tuned. So again, being an audio engineer, high praises when it comes to that. And again, it just connects with your standard Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. We had the smaller 9-inch display, which worked well. The backup camera was really clear, and you do have the option of going with the larger screen, which is great. I love that large screen, but even with just a small one, it definitely did the job. Another thing was space, compartments. It had everything. It even had like a safety deposit box or a lock box. It had not a safety deposit box, but it had a lock box. I had a silver key that was attached to the key fob, and I was wondering, what is this? I thought it was for the drawers in the bed of the truck, but I went to, you know, put some things in the armrest, and there it was. It was a lockbox, and thought, that's pretty cool. I guess I could probably put a camera in there to, you know, keep it a little bit more safe than just out in plain view. So that was a cool little feature. So overall, did I like the truck? No, I loved it. It was awesome. It has me thinking of getting a truck. My kid loved it. My kid really loved it. He wanted to drive the truck. He wanted to ride in the truck all the time. He, you know, when we got home from picking him up from school, he kept asking me, can we just go somewhere? Because he just wanted to be in the truck. And I don't blame him. I wanted to be in the truck the whole time as well. It was definitely a vehicle that, you know, has you thinking of switching over from my typical hatchback or maybe sedan. So to switch me over and start thinking, man, maybe I could do with a truck. Can a truck be a family vehicle? And this has proved that it really can. Well guys, I wish I could have had video of the driving for you guys to hear the things, but unfortunately, like I said, they had to pick up the truck a little bit earlier than my usual filming time. But definitely check it out. And the MOPAR catalog has so many options, and this thing was really like if you were to just throw the MOPAR book catalog, I guess, at it, and it just appears. So it definitely was an awesome truck to have, and I definitely would consider it in the future. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed my little quick talk about the Ram 1500 Longhorn Crew Cab 4x4. I think I got that. No, Bighorn. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed my quick talk about the Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4. I got it. It's definitely a long name. It's definitely a big truck, and I definitely enjoyed it. Well guys, see you on the next one, and remember, find the right gear.